Hello everyone, welcome to another video of Cloud Deep Dive. In today's video, we will talk about a new feature launched by AWS, which is a new target group type. Basically, they launched or they allow you to create application load balancer as a new target group type. So till now, before the launch of this new group type, you could have only created target group type was of you can say IP addresses or EC2 instances or only Lambda functions, but now you can create ALB as a target group type as well. And if you don't remember, target groups are created for the load balancers, that whenever you create load balancer, you have to create a target group which have certain targets like your EC2 instances or Lambda functions or IP addresses where your load balancer will balance the load. So in this video, we'll talk about this new target group type. We'll discuss that what are the challenges organizations were facing without having this, and what use case or feature problems this new group type will solve for these organizations. So before we jump into that, let's first discuss about load balancers. So there are four kind of load balancer. Right now we have application load balancer, network load balancer, classic, and gateway load balancer. Gateway load balancer I already covered in a different video, and I can provide you the link of that video as well in the description, and you will get on the right hand side corner as well. Classic load balancer, AWS recommend you to create only when if you are using EC2 classic instances, which are the old type of instances. But for the newer type, they recommend you to use either replication or network load balancer. If we talk about application load balancer, it's a layer 7 load balancer. It scales automatically, it provides you SSL offloading. It support advanced request routing. That means you can do path-based routing. If you have a request saying clouddeepdive.com/images, it will go to particular target group, and slash videos will go to different servers. So you can do that kind of routing with application load balancer. It supports HTTPS traffic as well, but it does not provide a static IP address, which was a kind of big drawback about ALB, and organizations uh, who wanted to use it because of not having static IP address. They were moving away from it, and they had big challenges because of that. And I'll discuss why in my upcoming slides as well. So that's a little bit about the ALB. If we talk about NLB, it was a layer 4 load balancer, and it support TCP and UDP traffic. It also support private link, and good thing is like it provide you the static IP address. So you in each availability zone you get one static IP address, uh, which is kind of beneficial as compared to ALB for few organizations. And it's also capable of handling millions of requests per second. So now let's talk about the some use cases or why uh, the new target group type will help these organizations and what challenges they were facing. So the first use case, if we talk about that, our ALB was launched, companies were very excited that hey, we'll have the ALB, but the only challenge they were having that they didn't have the static IP address. And the reason, like I could show that organizations want have their clients to connect to ALB, but they want to whitelist those IP address. They don't want that their clients will connect to any IP address. So the client will resolve the DNS and they will get the IP address. And because the IP addresses keep on changing for ALB, it's not static. So it was kind of a pain point for the organization that what list they need to whitelist. Either they have to whitelist all the IP addresses of AWS which is associated with ALB at the high level in the particular region, but that's this pretty wide range they have to whitelist. They wanted to do only kind of like few IP addresses which your client can connect. So that was one of the challenge, that they were not able to limit the uh, basically whitelisting the IP address of the ALP because it's not static. It was keep on change. It was keep on changing. There was some way around to that, but those way around were not good enough to solve that problem. So one of the way around was that some companies, when the global accelerator was launched, And in global escalator you can use ALB as one of the endpoint. And good thing about global escalator is that it provides you two static IP address, even though that it has many edge locations, but those two static IP address is always constant. So companies start using that global escalator here, and they just whitelist the IP address of that AG, and behind the scene they were getting ALB and everything. So the problem solved, but a new problem arise is the cost, because application AWS Global Escalator is costly. It has its own charges, as in addition to that it has the data transfer charge as well. So whitelist problem solved, but the cost increase for that. So not a good solution, but yeah, it solved the purpose to some extent. Second problem or second solution, they tried that, hey, can we use NLB in front of ALB, because NLB give me a static IP address which I can whitelist in my firewall. But the problem was that how NLB and ALB will match with each other, because uh, NLB does not have a target group type of ALB is not as one of the target group type. You can have either Lambda IP or EC2. So EC2 you cannot do, Lambda you cannot do here. So only solution was that in NLB target group type you can use IP address of ALB, but the IP address of ALB is not constant, just keep on changing. So how you will mitigate that? How you will make sure that you use NLB as front end, but have the ALB in the back end? So for that, so that was one of the problem. Like for use case one, you can say that uh, to whitelist the IP address, there's two solutions. One of them worked, but it increased the cost. Second one still has a challenge, that how to make ALB as an endpoint. So for this particular solution, you can see that when the ALB as a target type is announced, now you can create application load balancers as one of the target type and attach it to NLB, and it will solve your problem. The second use case was that many companies or many organizations, they want to use ALB as a private link. As you know that right now only NLB can be used as a private link. So if some company want to expose the service sitting behind the ALB as a private service, they cannot do it because it does not support that. One solution was again that you can put NLB in front of it, but again the same problem which we just discussed, that we cannot add a NLB in we cannot add ALB as the backend of NLB because the target type was not there. So how organizations were solving this challenge till now prior to launch of this new feature? So one of the solution which was published as a blog as well on AWS website was that they were using this solution which I'm presenting in this picture, that they had application load balancer as a target type. So instead of having this as a target type, they were having the IP address as a target group, and they were using Lambda function to add register or deregister those IP address. So CloudWatch was triggering this Lambda function maybe every minute, or maybe every 30 seconds, or whatever frequency you want to do it. It will go ahead and check the IP address. It will go ahead and check the DNS of your application load balancer, find out the IP address, and it will store the IP address in S3 bucket. So very first time the IP address is stored here. The next time it will go and check the IP address. If the IP address is different from the one which you uploaded earlier, then it will go ahead and deregister the older one and register the new one and update the S3 bucket. So that's the one of the solution which companies were using to register your application load balancer IP address for the NLB, and by using it they were able to solve this particular problem as well, that uh, ALB was sitting behind the NLB, and they were able to use it as a private link and for the firewall condition as well. But again, this is not full proof for 100% true, but what if that IP address change and at the starting of the minute, and after 1 minute you are registering and deregistering? So there were a few challenges with that, but this is one of the solution which companies started using it. But now with the help of this new feature, which is application load balancer is a new target type, you don't need to use this particular feature. You can just go ahead and add application load balancer as one of the target type, and you can use an ALB in the front, which helps you to create allow you the whitelist, as well as you can do your private link as well. So these were the two of the main use case which organizations were having issue, and with the launch of this particular feature, these two use cases are solved. So hope you understand why this new feature was launched and how it helped these big organizations, guys. Let me know if you have any question on this or you want more information. I'll be happy to answer or provide that information. So, and if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I will be publishing more videos like this in future. Thank you. Bye.